Do you ever feel the weight of the world pressing on your shoulders, voices screaming, opinions clashing, and yet nothing feels truly yours? Everyone wants to tell you who to be, what to do, how to think. But in the chaos, you lose yourself. Listen carefully. The most powerful action you can take is not to shout, not to argue, not to prove anything. The real strength, the real power is in silence. When you focus on yourself and stay silent, the world begins to reveal its secrets. The energy you waste on others is the energy you steal from your own destiny. Do you feel it? That constant pressure, the noise that never stops, the endless stream of opinions, arguments, and distractions that demand you respond, defend, explain, justify. Every day, the world seems to shout louder than your own thoughts. And yet, in the middle of this chaos, there is a choice that almost nobody understands. Silence is not weakness. Many believe that to remain silent is to surrender, to accept defeat, to let others walk over you. But they are wrong. Silence is not giving up. It is stepping into a dimension of power that few ever experience. When you remain silent, you refuse to let the noise of the world control your mind. You refuse to hand your energy over to those who do not deserve it. In a world obsessed with constant reaction, silence becomes your secret weapon. Think about it. How many times have you argued, debated, or explained yourself only to feel more drained afterward? How many times have your words bounced back like stones thrown into a stormy sea, lost, absorbed by forces you cannot control? Every time you speak in response to chaos, you give it life, you give it energy. Every time you remain silent, you take back that energy and invest it in yourself. This is not passive, it is deliberate, it is intentional, it is strength in its purest form. When you choose silence, you step off the hamster wheel of validation. You stop seeking approval from everyone who demands a piece of you. The world will try to provoke you, to test your patience, to make you react. And if you do, you play by their rules. But when you stay silent, you are no longer in their game. You are in control. You are in command of your emotions, your thoughts, your life. You are free. Silence gives clarity. In the quiet, you begin to hear yourself. You hear the dreams that have been buried under the noise. You hear the instincts that have been drowned by opinions. You hear the truth about who you are and what you want, without distraction, without compromise. In that space, ideas bloom, focus sharpens, and decisions become precise. The world may be loud, chaotic, and messy, but you become a calm center, unshakable, untouchable, untangled from the drama around you. And here is the beauty: silence is magnetic. When you stop reacting, people notice. Not always immediately, but they feel it. There is a presence in those who hold their words, who do not waste themselves on every provocation. People are drawn to that energy, even if they do not fully understand it. You become someone whose actions speak louder than their words. You become someone whose life itself is a statement. Silence also protects your energy. Words are heavy, reactions are heavier. Every argument, every defense, every explanation takes a piece of you that can never be recovered. But when you stay silent, you conserve that energy, and it transforms. It becomes focus. It becomes power. It becomes the force that allows you to rise above the chaos rather than be crushed by it. The more silent you are in the face of noise, the more unstoppable you become in the pursuit of your goals. So, the next time the world yells at you, the next time someone demands a reaction, remember this: silence is not weakness. Silence is your choice. Silence is your shield. Silence is where the real power is born. The louder the chaos, the stronger your silence becomes. When you focus on yourself, the chaos around you begins to lose its grip. It's subtle at first, almost imperceptible, but it is powerful. The world will try to pull you in every direction: people's expectations, their judgments, their opinions. But the moment you turn your attention inward, everything outside starts to fade. You realize that most of the noise has nothing to do with you. It is their projection, their fear, their insecurity. And if you allow it to control you, you live a life dictated by others. So why is it so hard to focus on yourself? Because the world rewards distraction. Social media, constant chatter, endless comparisons, they all whisper to you, look over here. React. Respond. Be someone else. But when you resist that, when you deliberately turn your gaze inward, something extraordinary happens. You start to understand that your time, your energy, your focus are sacred resources. Every moment spent reacting to external noise is a moment stolen from your growth, your clarity, your life. Focusing on yourself is not selfish. It is necessary. It is the foundation of everything you want to build. When your attention is scattered, your power is scattered. When your attention is fixed, your power is concentrated. You begin to see your goals with a sharper lens, your dreams with brighter clarity, your purpose with deeper conviction. The world may be loud, but inside, you find a rhythm that nothing can disrupt. It's like walking through a storm with calm at the center. Everything around you rages, but you are untouched, unshaken, unwavering. And here is the paradox: the more you focus on yourself, the less the world bothers you. People will still talk, still judge, still try to pull you into their drama. But it no longer matters. Their opinions do not define you. Their actions do not dictate your mood. You begin to realize that peace is not something you find in others, but something you create within yourself. The more attention you give to your growth, your learning, your self-mastery, the less power the world has over you. Focus on yourself, and clarity emerges. You start to notice who and what actually adds value to your life, and who or what drains it. Opportunities become clearer, decisions sharper, priorities more aligned. The noise of outside expectations begins to fade, and suddenly you are living a life that is truly yours, not borrowed from others, not dictated by fear, not diluted by distraction. You feel a sense of freedom that only comes when you are fully present in your own journey. And strength builds in silence. The energy you save from not reacting to unnecessary noise becomes your momentum. You use it to pursue mastery, to cultivate skills, to deepen your understanding of yourself and your purpose. You no longer scatter your energy on the drama, the gossip, the chaos. You preserve it, channel it, and transform it into progress that no one can take from you. The world keeps spinning, people keep shouting, but you move with precision, like a river cutting through stone, not with force, but with persistence and focus. Focusing on yourself also teaches you patience. You understand that not everything requires a reaction, that not every battle is yours to fight. Some things are simply lessons, some moments are simply tests, and some people are simply passing through. And in this understanding, you find peace, you find control. You find the kind of strength that is quiet, unwavering, and impossible to ignore. So, when the world screams for your attention, when everyone demands you prove yourself, remember this: your focus is your fortress. When you nurture it, protect it, and dedicate yourself to it, the chaos loses its grip. And in that focus, your life begins to move with clarity, power, and unstoppable momentum. Every word you withhold is energy preserved for your growth. Think about that for a moment. How often do we speak without thinking, react without awareness, or argue without purpose? Every time we do, we scatter pieces of ourselves into the world, pieces that can never be reclaimed. Words are powerful. They carry energy. They carry intention. And when you speak impulsively, when you react to every provocation, you give your power away without realizing it. Most people underestimate the strength of restraint. They believe that speaking is action, that reacting is strength. But real strength is measured in what you choose not to release, in what you choose to guard, in what you hold sacred within yourself. Every silent moment, every unspoken thought, every withheld reaction, it is a deposit into your inner reservoir of power. It is energy preserved for what truly matters. When you withhold unnecessary words, you start to notice the patterns around you. The people who drain you, the situations that distract you, the arguments that lead nowhere, they become clear. You begin to understand that your energy is finite, and you must invest it wisely. You cannot afford to spend it on the trivial, the toxic, the unimportant. Each word saved is a moment reclaimed, each silent pause a choice made for yourself, each unspoken reaction a step closer to mastery. And here is the remarkable truth: silence amplifies presence. When you stop talking, when you stop reacting, people begin to notice. Not in the loud, obvious way, but in the subtle, magnetic way that commands respect. They feel the energy you are conserving. They sense the calm power that flows beneath your surface. They cannot manipulate it. They cannot provoke it. They can only witness it. And in that presence, you become someone whose life is an unspoken statement, powerful, unshakable, undeniable. Every word you refrain from speaking also sharpens your mind. Silence gives you space to think, to reflect, to strategize. Instead of reacting, you observe. Instead of reacting, you assess. Instead of reacting, you choose. And in that choice lies freedom, the freedom to act deliberately, to speak intentionally, to live consciously. When the world pulls you in every direction, the one thing that remains under your control is your energy. And the greatest act of control is learning when to speak and when to remain silent. Withholding words also teaches discipline, the kind that transforms ordinary lives into extraordinary ones. It is not easy. The temptation to react, to argue, to defend oneself is strong. But every time you resist, you grow stronger. Every time you pause, every time you hold back, you train yourself to rise above impulsive emotion and chaotic influence. You become the master of yourself, rather than a servant to the reactions of others. You learn that your life is not determined by noise. It is determined by the choices you make in the quiet, and power, true power, always comes from within. It is quiet, it is still, it is deliberate. The world may scream for attention, demand explanation, or challenge your boundaries. But you do not need to respond to every call. You do not need to justify your actions, explain your intentions, or defend your choices to everyone. Every word you withhold is a shield. Every silent pause is a statement. Every moment of restraint is an investment in your own growth and influence. So, as the noise of the world escalates, as people continue to demand reactions, remember this: your silence is not emptiness. It is energy. It is focus. It is strength. The words you choose not to speak preserve the power you need to shape your life, to move with clarity, to rise above chaos, and to become the person you were meant to be. The less you react, the more you control your destiny. Imagine for a moment how much of your life has been dictated by impulses, by reactions, by the urgent demands of others. Every time you lash out, argue, defend, or justify, you give a piece of your freedom away. You hand over control of your mind, your emotions, and your energy to forces outside yourself. And yet, the moment you pause, the moment you resist the urge to react, everything begins to shift. Control is not about dominating others. It is not about winning arguments or proving points. True control is the quiet mastery of yourself. It is knowing that your destiny is shaped by your focus, your choices, and your energy, not by the chaos surrounding you. When the world tests you, when people provoke you, when life challenges you, your response is the measure of your power. The less you react, the stronger you become. The more deliberate your actions, the more unstoppable your path. Reactivity is easy. Anyone can argue, complain, or defend themselves. But to rise above, to remain calm while others fume, to stay composed while others lash out, that requires strength, discipline, and clarity. And this strength does not come from controlling others. It comes from controlling yourself. It comes from preserving your energy, from protecting your focus, from dedicating your life to what truly matters. Each unprovoked moment, each withheld reaction, each conscious choice to remain calm is a step toward mastery of your own destiny. When you stop reacting, you begin to see life with clarity. The distractions that once seemed urgent fade into irrelevance. The people who once drained you lose their power over you. The opinions that once pulled at you cease to matter. And in that space, decisions are no longer clouded by emotion, but guided by wisdom. Your vision becomes precise. Your steps become purposeful. Your life begins to move in a direction only you can create. And here is the hidden truth: the world respects power without noise. The more you resist the urge to react, the more presence you carry. People feel it, even if they cannot explain it. There is a calm authority in those who do not bend to provocation, a magnetism in those who remain composed while the storm rages around them. It is not arrogance, it is not aggression. It is something far stronger. It is the energy of a person fully in command of themselves, and therefore fully in command of their life. The less you react, the more freedom you gain. Every reaction, no matter how small, is a chain around your mind. It ties you to events, to emotions, to other people's expectations. But when you choose restraint, when you choose patience, when you choose focus, you break free. You move through life not as a victim of circumstance, but as the architect of your own path. You do not wait for permission. You do not seek validation, and you do not let anger, fear, or distraction dictate your choices. Control over your reactions is control over your future. Each moment you master your response, you invest in yourself. Each moment you choose awareness over impulse, you create a ripple that shapes the course of your life. The chaos outside may never stop, but it no longer matters. You have discovered the power that the world cannot take from you, the power that comes from calm, from patience, from deliberate action, from silence. So when the world demands a reaction, when life tests your limits, when chaos calls your name, remember this: the less you react, the more you control your destiny. And in that control, everything you truly desire begins to align, and your life moves with the precision, strength, and unstoppable momentum of someone who has finally mastered themselves. True power is not in being seen, it is in being felt. Most people spend their lives chasing attention, striving to be noticed, trying to prove their worth to a world that will never fully appreciate them. They speak loudly, react quickly, and push themselves forward, believing that visibility equals value. But the truth is far different. Visibility is temporary, opinions fade, applause dies. Real influence, real power is subtle, quiet, and undeniable. It is energy that cannot be measured by noise, only by impact. When you stop chasing recognition, when you release the need to be validated, something extraordinary begins to happen. You begin to move through life with invisible strength. People sense it. They feel it, even if they cannot put it into words. There is a presence that cannot be ignored, a gravity that draws what serves you and repels what does not. The world may be loud, full of those shouting to be seen, but you operate on a different plane. You operate from a space of calm authority, of silent power, of focused energy that is entirely your own. This is the essence of self-mastery, understanding that the loudest voices rarely hold the most influence. Influence comes from depth, from stillness, from the deliberate choice to invest your energy only where it matters. The words you do not speak, the arguments you do not join, the chaos you do not enter, all of this preserves the power within you. And the more power you preserve, the more you shape your reality, your opportunities, and your destiny. Consider this: a single calm presence can command a room more than 100 voices shouting. A single person acting with intention can shift circumstances more than countless frantic reactions. The energy you carry when you are grounded, focused, and silent is magnetic. It attracts what aligns with your purpose and repels what does not. And in that alignment, life begins to move with precision. Doors open not because you demanded them, but because your energy naturally creates space for them. Paths become clear not because you forced them, but because you became someone whose presence alone directs the flow of events. Power Therefore, is not about doing more, it is about being more. Being grounded in yourself. Being disciplined in your reactions. Being deliberate in where you place your energy. Being silent when the world screams. Being focused when everything around you distracts. When you cultivate this, you stop being a participant in the chaos and start being the architect of your life. The less noise you create, the more impact you have. The less you react, the more control you gain. The more you focus on yourself, the more unstoppable you become. And here is the secret that almost no one understands: being felt is stronger than being heard. When your presence carries weight, when your calm energy commands respect, when your silence radiates strength, you no longer need to justify, explain, or argue. People respond not to your words, but to your energy. They sense your control, your clarity, your focus, your power. And that response is deeper, lasting, and more transformative than any reaction could ever be. Your life becomes a force that moves without noise, achieves without struggle, and inspires without words. Every moment you hold yourself together, every choice you make to stay silent, every action you take from a place of calm and focus. These are the moments that define you, shape your future, and create influence that cannot be challenged. So remember this: the world may demand that you be loud, reactive, and visible, but real power is felt, not seen. Your energy, preserved, focused, and disciplined, shapes your reality in ways words never could. And in that awareness, you become more than a participant in life. You become the quiet force that everything moves around and nothing can ever take away. Now, take a moment and feel this truth: the world cannot control you unless you allow it to. Your energy, your focus, your silence, they are yours, untouchable, unbreakable. From this moment forward, choose to protect what is sacred: your mind, your heart, your destiny. Speak only when it serves you. React only when it elevates you. Focus relentlessly on your growth, and the world will bend, not because you force it, but because your power radiates too strongly to be ignored. Rise above the noise. Stand in your silence. Move with purpose. Let your life become a force so magnetic, so unstoppable, that nothing can deter you, nothing can distract you, and nothing can break you. The chaos outside does not define you. Your choices within do. And today, you have the power to claim that control. Go forward and protect your energy. Go forward and focus on yourself. Go forward and master the art of silence. Your life, your destiny, and your power are waiting. Nothing can stop you when you move from this place of calm strength. Good luck on your journey. Thank you for trusting yourself enough to listen, reflect, and rise.